Hello, everyone. Who is
Hello.
here? Doesn't look like anybody's watching right now. We had Bob pop in early.
And he
Um,
left.
Was here quite early, it looks
yeah,
like.
30 minutes. Oh, three viewers. Oh, who's watching? Who's here?
We're taking roll call. Come on.
Cool.
It's probably us. Do we show up in the count?
No, I don't think so. Because I don't actually have it open to watch. So I don't think it's me.
I know. Me either.
Chris
So.
F. He was chatting with me on Facebook earlier, so I hope he's here. Chris F.
Always here. There's Joe Kirby and Bob is still here.
Oh, hi, Bob. Hello, Joe Kirby. That seems like a new name to me.
Yeah, I agree. And there's Stephen
Hi,
Tomazowitz.
Steven.
Right? I think I got it.
Oh, he doesn't have a pie to share. See, we already brought up pie.
Oh. All right.
Telling Anne, our guest this evening, that we always end up talking about food, and it's usually pie. So we're starting early with the pie.
Yeah.
Except that
Hi,
he's talking
Janine.
about pizza pie.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's pie, I guess.
Yes.
And all the different ways to make pizza, the different doughs. So, who else is here? So
Trickling in. Do they know what we're talking about tonight?
it was on the summary and the little cover thing said monthly recap and biographies. That's why Anne is here. She is leads the BioBuilders. I guess it leads that the right word.
I'm an ex-leader for the BioBuilders.
Ex-leader. So she's kind of like a
I'm a founding member.
So she's kind of like a pro BioBuilder.
Yes.
Oh, Stephen made a pizza with sauerkraut one time.
Oh.
It used to be a thing.
I don't know how I feel about that. Hello, Sharon Glover. Hello, hello.
Hi, Sharon. We got people trickling in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happy to see that.
Where's everybody? So, Joe Kirby, where are you from? I would like
In
to
a
know
general sense, you don't need to give us.
Oh, Stephen got his sister to do a DNA test.
Yay!
That's exciting. I finally got my mom to do a DNA test because it was on sale. And since she watches the Saturday LiveCast all the time, finally convinced her to do one. So
I was thinking I need to get my husband to do one.
Ooh.
Because his dad has done one, but that doesn't give us his maternal side. So I need to get
you'll be able to determine what his maternal side is kind of from his DNA. Kind of, for the most part.
Yeah.
And Joe is from Australia. Welcome.
Welcome. Let's see. It's I'm terrible at the time change. Is it 13 hours difference? So it'd be like
I know Japan is like 12 and Australia is kind of right there.
Yeah.
Kind of in line with them.
Like maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. Does that sound right?
Maybe.
We'll see how close I am. And you know why I'm getting better with the time zones? Because of the ranger schedule.
Yeah, Julie's in charge of the Rangers.
We've got like 7 different time zones.
Oh, you're really off, Julie.
Oh,
it's 12 p.m. Well, so, Australia's pretty wide, so
it's true. There's several time zones in Australia, if I remember correct. I probably got that wrong too.
Yeah.
12
yeah, and
so that puts you guys like 16. Oh, my husband's helping me. 16 hours ahead of us.
Good thing for people who know how to do math.
Yes. Time math is hard.
Yes, because it's weird.
It makes my head hurt. I have to draw pictures.
It's 5 where Stephen is. 5 p.m. You're on the West Coast, aren't you, Stephen?
Ah, yes, he must be.
West Coast of the United States. And we do these 8 p.m. ones, well, 8 p.m. Eastern time ones for people who are on the other side of the world to kind of get you in here. Oh, look, there's Chris. You're kind of late. Chris F. Bob says it's 11 a.m. where he is.
Oh, he's in Queensland. He's on he's on the is that the east side of Australia?
More east than where Joe is.
Apparently. Wait, is that right? I'm so confused. When you flip us upside down and put us in Australia, I can't handle it. My brain doesn't function.
I mean, I'm bad at geography in general, but trying to get the nitty gritty of Australia, I have no idea.
I know.
But I'm gonna try. Oh yeah, Steven's in Washington State. That's right. Yeah.
What time zone are you in, Anne?
I'm in Eastern time.
Oh, you're on Sarah's time. I'm in
where are you, Anne? Exactly.
I'm in Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Oh,
okay.
How beautiful up there.
In New England.
And chilly.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a little chilly today, and there were little flecks of snow floating around.
Did you guys get hit by that storm that was coming up the coast?
All the wind last night? Yes.
Yeah.
Or was it the night before? Maybe.
Where was it? Somebody got like a foot of snow. I guess it was Ohio.
Ohio? No, not recently.
No, that's good. I'm near Chicago. I don't want snow, but we're gonna get it. So it's like I hold it, like, please don't snow. We've already had one snow, but it didn't amount to much. So.
Yeah, I was telling Julie how it
went fast. So
it got into the lows were in the 30s where I am, which doesn't happen a lot in Florida. So Janine's in Central Time Zone, Middle Tennessee.
She's
and Joe Kirby says she's in the middle, and he is on the East Coast.
She's in the South. Joe's in the
she's in the South.
Yeah.
Guess I have to brush up on my Australian geography.
I know.
And Chris is in New Hampshire, also on the East Coast.
We broke the planet.
Okay.
Oh, my dog is barking inside.
I guess we've introduced everybody that's in the chat, and figured out where everybody was. So I guess we can go on to kind of recapping the month of November. If anybody has anything exciting that happened to them in the month of November, please share. But I'm going to kind of go over some stuff, announcements, things that popped up on WikiTree that happened in November. I just kind of pulled up different news announcements, things on WikiTree and the G2G, so we'll go from there. So as you all probably know, we usually have themes for the connection finder. So we're trying to think of what themes are going to be for 2021. So you can go and make some suggestions if you'd like. This was posted in November, so I just opened that up. Let's see what's next. So we have in February, we have a Black History Month theme. Who could we feature? And in March, Women's History Month theme. So if you can think of anything maybe related to that week that's big, or just something you'd like to see, but just remember these people have to be connected and have to have enough people in that theme to feature it in the connection finder. So
I noticed you've got RootsTech on there. RootsTech is going to be virtual this year.
Yes. So we're trying to, if anybody has any ideas for RootsTech, I know I've been kind of waiting for them to release what events they're going to have or their schedule to kind of plan more about it.
Can we do watch parties and stuff like that?
I think so. I think that'll be something like that. Maybe having some prominent genealogists come on. I'm trying to get some of them to come interview. I was trying to see if I could get the keynote speakers, but that has been more difficult than I thought. So
yeah, I imagine their schedules are probably pretty tight.
I can maybe get in touch with one, but I think that's about it. Okay, and so as you guys probably know, we have our date nights that started in November. Our next one is actually coming up this Friday.
Yes, come and join us. It's fun. We chat on Discord and we just get busy getting dates filled in on the profiles that
Do
need
you
them.
guys also get your drink on when you're doing these?
Sometimes. I did.
Okay, so
Might have a
date
glass of
night
wine.
started in November, so that was a big thing that happened. Trying to get our dates, because dates are important for WikiTree profiles.
And there's a bunch of old profiles out there that are just kind of hanging. They're lonely. They need dates.
Yeah. So I think I started backwards. So we're going from like end of November to the beginning of November. So just bear with me.
Okay.
So we had Greg post about the heads of state for different countries. So he posted this about having people to help connect them.
Very cool.
So that was pretty interesting. I like to see people coming together for profiles for different countries to help try and connect and build their profiles and all that. I usually like to see those kinds of posts. Building our global tree. Let's see, what else did I open? Oh, they're working on the help pages for different countries, not different countries, different languages. So this is one that was in French, asking for help in French. I'm assuming that's what it says. For the
I
most
actually
part.
talked to Isabel about that. So she was telling me about it. So
And then I also have the one open for German, helping them translate the help pages to German. So if anybody can help translate help pages, not just in these two languages, to any language, please reach out to either that specific country project or maybe the team or somebody who we can help translate. You want to
it's
help
a big job. Do we know how many help pages that need to be translated? And like if somebody were to start from the beginning for
oh my gosh, how many help
like
pages?
400?
That's a lot. Probably Alesh could get us that number, but there's hundreds. So it'll be a big task. Probably starting with the most common help pages, like the ones that are probably in the drop down. Maybe translating the honor code and the intro to WikiTree and stuff like that. Probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
So let's look at what it looks like. The Dutch help page. This looks like I can't read it. But looks good so far.
You don't speak Dutch?
No.
Dutch is hard.
Yeah. But it looks like they have a lot of stuff. I wonder. So the bigger languages probably have more help pages done, like Spanish, Dutch, French, and all of that. Okay. So help pages translating. What was this? Oh, first name variance, search by ID, and G2G flagging. This was a kind of a big update.
Yeah.
So you can search for Liz and get Elizabeth matches on the search now. So if you're looking for a nickname or different spelling for first name, you'll have better search options. Not options, I guess results come up. So that was pretty cool that happened. And you can also search by Wiki ID now, which is, I think it's pretty cool. I think that'd definitely be beneficial for me, how I do stuff sometimes. And then also just updating how you flag in G2G. Now you have to explain why if you flag.
We moderators were very excited about that.
Yes. So, because I usually don't. So like you click flag and I guess a pop-up comes up and you kind of pick one.
Yeah, it's tied to the discussion rules. So it pops up a little window and you get to pick which discussion rule it applies to, or if it's spam, or I can't remember. There's another option. I can't remember what it is right off the top of my head.
Let's go flag Chris's post. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you can click it and pop up the window, but it won't flag it until you press on.
Oh, look, there it is.
Yeah. duplicate post. That's what it is.
Duplicate, rule, or other. So
And
this
then
will
you can-
also prevent accidental flagging as well. It sometimes happens.
We get a lot of, before this came around, we were getting a lot of people flagging things as if it was a like button.
Yeah.
So
It's like, oh, look at the flag.
yeah, because it on Facebook, thumbs up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this helps with that.
I like that pop-up.
Mhm.
I wonder if they'll do that for like the comment. We'll do that for the comments too, like on the profiles.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Well,
I don't know
I
either.
can't remember.
Because these are just tied to the discussion rules, so I have to think.
There is a flag on
for
you can
comments, yeah.
comments, but let's see. Oh, sorry, that's my dog. Yeah, when you flag a comment on a profile, you have to fill in
Yeah,
a little box.
it's true. You have to. It sends like you put comments and stuff. So maybe not. Ignore my comment. Did you see the new DNA percentages? Did you guys see this? I guess I can open up my profile and we can look at it. The percentages. Here, let's actually look at my let's look at my grandfather. So, because it has somebody else on here too. So it has me, because he's my grandfather, 25% related to me, and this other person, 0.78%. Probable match. If all the connections are correct on WikiTree, which they should be. I'm pretty sure I am related to her.
That's cool.
So I think that's pretty neat. So that's a new thing that happened. I know people who are really into DNA really like this update. So, oh, look, it has a look at this hover thing. Robin is 8 generational degrees from Gerald. On average, they would be expected to share about 0.78% of their DNA. So, like, if I would compare my DNA to Robin, well, I guess it's not me and her. I guess let me see if she pops up on mine. No, she actually doesn't.
No,
but I do have a cousin here who does. So that I would share 0.78% of my DNA. In theory. So I think that's pretty cool.
I agree.
I like that update. Let's see if I can find anybody else who has more. So the farther up I go, the less percentage. Oh, look, now we're the same. I got to the person who we directly descend from. That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
More math.
Woo, math. Okay, so DNA percentages. So that's pretty cool. Has there been any in comments, Julie?
I'm just kind of keeping an eye over here. We've had, you were asking for people to talk about exciting things they did in November. Mm-hmm. Stephen Tomazowitz has been doing some history on houses in his family. His grandfather built a house next to his dad's. And so
that's cool.
I've been doing history on that. He'd have to expand on that a little more, I think, for me to understand entirely. Let's see. Chris.
So Benjamin's thanking us for choosing this time for stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We like being able to get everybody in here. Chris Ferriolo was talking about he's been working on President-elect Joe Biden's tree with the woman that I guess he said she basically wrote the book on the Biden family, but I don't know if that's literally wrote a book or if she's just done a lot of research on them.
I saw him working on that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then let's see. Benjamin said, we found the parents of someone who was an extremely difficult brick wall because he changed his name, died from World War II, and he never told his children his old name.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, I know. So that was probably like a moment where you're just very excited.
I found the third husband of the 4 husbands that my great-great-great-grandmother had.
Oh my.
Didn't have a clue what his name was, but I managed to find him. So that was pretty thrilling.
That's
That is
cool.
That's always fun.
I love finding new people that I didn't have before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one I have up here. So just kind of a post about unknowns on your watch list. So if you have any unknowns and just what to do with them, like if they're truly unknown and they don't have any name at all, we can recycle them. So it's just kind of a post about that. And we probably will have Esme on at some point to talk about the unknown project. I was talking to her about that earlier this week. So
Cool.
that'll be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like a sub project of the profile improvement project, but there's so many aspects of the profile improvement project, we're probably going to break it down. And the BioBuilders is kind of biographies are kind of part of profile improvement as well. So here you go. Okay. Oh yeah, we surpassed 25 million profiles this month at the beginning of the month.
That's
November
exciting.
5th. That was pretty exciting. Well, not exactly that day, but that's when we released, when we posted about it. That's pretty, that's like a pretty big milestone. And thinking that 21 million are actually connected to each other on the tree.
That's even more incredible to me.
Mm-hmm. What is that percentage?
Oh,
that's some math.
You're doing math again? Why would you do that?
1/5? No, that's not right. That was really bad. So if somebody wants to do the math on that, figure out what percent. It's probably
84%.
easy enough, but it's really late and it's been
84%. I used my calculator.
What's the percentage?
84.
84%. Wow, I was really wrong. 84% of profiles on WikiTree are connected to each other. So that's awesome. And we have 7.4 million DNA test connections.
That's crazy.
750,000 registered members and 167 who've actually signed the honor code. Awesome sauce that is. I wonder, so it's been WikiTree has been 12 years WikiTree has been around.
Is it? Yeah, I can't remember what the month is for the anniversary. Do you remember?
Well, it's been around, I guess it's been around 12-ish years.
Yeah.
We reached 25 million. I wonder when we'll get to 50 million. Will
I don't know.
Less than? Maybe it'll be 5 or 6 years, or maybe sooner than that. I don't know. Will we run out of people to add on WikiTree eventually? Probably not.
I'm guessing not, because we're not even close.
No, because there's billions and billions of people to add.
That's just a fraction. If we were just doing the United States, that would just be a fraction.
Yeah, if you think about the world population, but then how many generations? Yeah. So we can definitely get to 50 million. We can do it.
Yeah.
Maybe in a few years.
So I have some more news from the chat here. If you want me to run through a couple. Judy Stutz discovered she's a Mayflower descendant.
Ooh, that's cool.
That's very cool.
I lost my spot. Hold on. You guys, if I'm missing something important, let me know, because it scrolled on me. Talking a little bit about RootsTech.
So Joe had said that on the email from WikiTree it said 83%. So we didn't even have to really do math. Oh well.
I have too many things to read every day. I can't retain them all. Oh, Chris Ferriolo again. He and Greg Clark, did I get that right? Went on the Family History Fanatics podcast, if I believe.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah. Go on. I'll find something else to talk about here.
I'll continue. Okay, so we are thinking of making the 2021 the year of accuracy on WikiTree. To improve accuracy on WikiTree and also use it for outreach and promotion. Because while we all love WikiTree, we want to get others to love WikiTree too. Because the more people who love WikiTree, the more WikiTree will grow. So,
and being a free site, we need to have lots of members because it helps us to support ourselves.
Yeah, because we're a free site, and there's just a handful of us that are part of the team. But everything else is, we rely on you volunteers, and the more volunteers we have, WikiTree will grow, become more accurate. We'll get to 50 million profiles sooner rather than later. So, 2021, the year of accuracy. So, Chris, our Chris Whitten posted this, just getting feedback from everybody. And yeah, so if you haven't seen this yet, go ahead. And there probably is other, look, there's a tag about it, year of accuracy. Was there any updates? And then I guess we were also talking about what thon we will have in January. I don't know.
We may not. If we end up doing like a year-long kind of thing for the year of accuracy, we may not have a thon in January. So
okay, so we might not have a thon in January, but keep your eye on the G2G. We always let you guys know what we're doing. We rely on your input. So
this is your community, so we got to hear from people.
Mm-hmm. So this was Aowen helping to improve Judy Russell's family tree.
Yeah.
Known as a legal genealogist. Oh, that's cool. I just opened a whole bunch of stuff. That's pretty cool. So this is also kind of ties into the year of accuracy thing. So trying to get these prominent genealogists to come onto WikiTree and see how accurate and great we are, and they want to use it and they promote us. And if we have these big names promoting us, then all will be well in the world. I mean, all is well in the world. Not well. Is it all well in the world? I don't know. But
no, unfortunately, not right now.
Well, could be worse. That's what I like. So I'm like, it could be worse.
Can always be worse, right?
Yeah. Okay. So 2011 cleanup challenge for Dutch profiles done.
Yeah. Woo.
Woo. So
did they clean up all of the Dutch profiles?
That's what I'm trying to. As of November 17th, there are 13 remaining. Huh.
These are probably the ones that the project manages.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But still a big job.
I know there's more Dutch people than that.
Yeah. Okay. So this was a post about so family history fanatics made. Oh, this was what Chris was talking. See, Chris, I had you ready. I had it ready. You had to post a comment about it. I had it ready. This was Chris and Greg on the family history fanatics. So that was pretty cool. So this was a post about putting a location even if you're not certain about the location. Because some location is better than no location. It was kind of a question and getting feedback from everybody. I think an uncertain location is better than no location at all. So that's just me. But I think most people agreed. 6 people didn't agree, but 89 people agreed. So I think so. Yeah, it's good. So this is the first date night. I realized I opened 3 posts about date night. Oh well. And then I had the Native Americans project, which we talked about on Saturday. We had Kathy on and we talked about it. It was really It was very informational for me. I don't know if you guys didn't see it, go back and watch it. They are all pre-recorded. They are all recorded so you can watch them after the fact as well. So check that out. And then I guess the last one, this was November's BioBuilders challenge, but it's kind of part of the reason why we're here today. We're talking about biographies and BioBuilders, and each month they have let's see what this month's is. Let's see. Anne probably knows. So letter D, surnames. So basically you're looking, it's kind of you don't have, you can work on it, right? And you can pretty much work on any bio, but kind of give them a theme to work on with their watch list.
Absolutely. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be part of your watch list, because I kind of looking at mine this morning and I'm going, I don't have a lot of D's. And so I went and found an unsourced profile whose surname was D and gave her a biography and a story. Several.
I wonder if I don't have none of my main, like none of my big surnames start with D.
I said most of my profiles are already built and well biographied, so I don't feel as though I should put them in because they're already done. If I just done them, I would put them in, but
True.
You can do some with mine, Anne.
I always manage to find some.
Yeah. So, usually you want to start you want to make sure your own profiles for the most part are well built.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Do your own first. But, if you're like me out here and you're just going, I don't know, mine all look good.
Yeah. But also if you get bored with, sometimes we get tired of looking at our same family, if you want something new, you can go off and find maybe Julie needs help with her biographies. You can help her.
I do.
I think that's part of my attraction to WikiTree, is that I've been doing my family genealogy for over 50 years at this point. I am bored with my own family.
You know everything you need to know, right?
Well, except for the fact that I finally found that extra great-great-grandmother's, husband. But so, I revisit them as I go along. But yeah, I'm bored with my own family. So I work on other people's families. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. So for I guess the checklist for when you're working on a profile and doing the bio, you want to make sure you have all your data there, like all the dates and all the locations, parents, spouse, if applicable, and children, if applicable.
Right. Well, if you look at this list that's on BioBuilders, we developed this list with the help of, input from G2G. So it lists first the data section, because that's the meat of a WikiTree profile. The problem with the data section is that you really can't tell you where you got that information from. So that's where the bio section comes in. And then we built this list of suggested things that you could put into a bio. Mm-hmm. So if we go through the list, obviously written sentences are important to a biography, and that's what it begins to be about. And people get intimidated by the thought that they're going to have to actually write a sentence. But sentences don't have to be complicated. They can be, Jim married Jane on such and such a date and such a place. And then you tack on the source, preferably using an inline citation, because it works so well on WikiTree. Mm-hmm. And then another important point for WikiTree biographies is to use your own words. We don't want any copy-pasted stuff. We don't want, the copy-paste I could look at a biography and tell if it's copy-pasted. It's just, there's a certain thing about them that they just look like they are. Now, I have to admit that some of mine are beginning to look like they're copy pasted because I'm just getting good at writing bios. So, and besides, so you want to cover the basic, those basic data points. You know, you want to start out and say that, you know, Jim was born and where he was born and when he was born and who his parents are. And if you get that sentence right, the rest kind of flows,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because then you go on to the next point in Jim's life. If you know where he went to school, that's a good point to put in. If you don't, well, you don't, because I don't know where, you know, my 10th grade grandfather went to school. I don't even know if he did. You know, sometimes I don't even know if he knew how to write. But so you go on to that, or his childhood, or whatever you happen to know about it. And then you go on to his marriage. And then you go on to the things that happened in his life. Now, traditionally, when you write a genealogical biography, you put the children at the end of the list. So I always put the children at the end of the list, at the end of the biography. And it's just a nice, neat list. You list the names of the children. You try to put in at least one something about that child so that you can identify them. So if I say Ann B was born in 1949, and I want to go search to see if Ann B is on WikiTree, I'm not going to find her because they've got my date of birth kind of hidden. But so if there could be, you know, several Ann B's on WikiTree, and the only way I'm going to be able to say that this is positively the one that I'm looking for is if I have something to identify her, like her birth date or her death date or the husband or that she has. So we ask that, you know, we like to have one data point for a child that we can reference. Let's see. Siblings, yes. I don't typically list siblings in a biography. They're on the parents' biography. Yeah. So if I really want to know who the siblings are, I would look on the parents' biography, or I'd go up and look in the data section that WikiTree has so kindly provided for us.
One of the things that I find when I write a biography is that as I start to put the sentences together and put everything in chronological order, I start to recognize, oh, well, that he couldn't have been living here if he got married, you know, that kind of thing, where it's like,
it's a logic check.
Yeah.
Biography. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also helps you make sure you have a source for each fact as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Yes. If you're writing a sentence and you just kind of know, I have to put a source at the end of the sentence. Sometimes I have 6 sources at the end of the sentence. Sometimes I have sources in the middle of the sentences. Sometimes you get one at the end of a paragraph, which is fine too. If everything came out of the one paragraph, you know, out of the one source, because certainly for someone modern, if you have their death certificate, you know what their birth date was, their parents were, what they died of, where they were buried, you know, their death date, where they were living at the time of their death. So, yeah, so you're going to get all that information from one source.
So Chris Ferriolo had a question for you, Anne. He said, how do you do bios of children who died young or were stillborn?
It's a very short bio.
Yeah.
Yeah. and you get to the point where you say, oh, I really enjoy writing this biography, because you just write down Joe Smith was born in whatever, and he died whenever his parents were. And that's really all you need to do.
Yeah. And then we've got that sticker. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sarah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I don't like that sticker.
No.
You know, I use it just because when somebody pops into the profile, they can see that it's short because they died young. You know what I mean?
It's like a quick glance of like,
and a quick
I also
glance.
like to do that for twins and stuff. So it's like a quick glance, like, oh, that's why they have the same birthday. It's not Aaron.
Yeah,
Right.
It's just a quick visual. Oh, that's why I don't see a spouse or children. And there are ways to eliminate that section of information on the profile too.
Yeah, there are little boxes that you can tick that say no children, and you
Right.
have to kind of go into the marriage to say no spouse, but it is available.
Yes. I don't like having any of those things that tell me I need to add something, so I always click the no more children, no spouse, no siblings.
All those little highlighted spots that say, yeah.
I like that too.
Only if you know for sure, though. Like,
Right.
You don't really know. But.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate having the little uncertain things show up next to a date or a relationship or something.
I don't know, when you work back in the 1600s so much, you just know you're going to have uncertainties.
I stay out of that era. I'm not good enough to do that. I need help.
So at this point, yeah, I'm primarily working in the 1600s, writing biographies. So there frequently is not a lot of information available. And some of the ancestors are really well researched, and there's lots of data that people have found because they've got the land records and the probate records and all kinds of stuff like that. But then you get in a couple more generations, and whoever was writing the book wasn't quite so interested in that person. So you might be lucky if you get a birth date and a death date, and who their spouse was. But you could put that in the bio, along with your source in an inline citation.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention, when you're listing, it helps WikiTree when you're listing like a spouse or children, or if you're doing siblings, to actually link to that other profile as well, like putting the little brackets and linking it, because the more links there are to other WikiTree profiles in WikiTree, the better Google search we get.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Yes. And also it also gives, people can click on it right away instead of scrolling up. And also then they can just hover over it as well if you have that option turned on, to hover on it to get more detailed little info pop up about that person as well.
And it's gotten a lot easier to make that link now that you can hover and pick up, URL or wiki link or whatever it is that kind of shows up there. That's been very helpful to me.
I like it a lot. Do you usually put photos in the background and stuff on the bios you do?
Yeah, I like backgrounds, so yeah, I tend to use them. Other people don't like backgrounds. So depending on where I'm at, if I'm back in the 1600s and I really want a background, I'll put in something very neutral and maybe just parchment looking paper, or just a color. But yes, and I definitely include photos. And if you look at some of my more recent ancestors, I have death certificates attached, and their military stuff that I get, their pension documents, because there are things that aren't readily available, but I happen to have them in my files, and I think, oh, well, this would be nice here, so the next person who comes along doesn't have to write me and say, do you have this? Or doesn't have to write the National Archives and pay whatever fee they have to get that information. So yes, if I have photos, I use them.
Okay.
And I think sometimes if you add the photos into the biography, it makes a more pleasing look to a biography if it's broken up by photos. And Sarah, can you get the profile for Laura Bond? I don't know.
Okay, let's see. Laura Bond, Bond.
Yes.
Okay. Are you the?
Yes, I believe I am.
Oh, here it is.
Okay. Yeah, Laura Bond Borden.
Oh, that's what beautiful pictures.
This was a collaborative profile of the week, and so I had help with this. Actually, I had one major person who was helping me with this. But you can see where the bio is, and you kind of break it up with the pictures of the houses and the pictures of her, and this background image, which was a much brighter picture, but I kind of muted it out some. Turned it sepia so it looked older. So this is the epitome of building a good, a pleasing to look at profile. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say it's a good biography, but it's a pleasing to look at profile.
Well, and it draws you in because, you've got the pictures of the period and
yes,
just lots of interesting little tidbits.
Because if you also think about it, if somebody comes to this profile, they're more likely to stay and keep, browse more of WikiTree if it looks good. Unfortunately, we are by nature, if something does, we are more likely to stay somewhere if it looks good, just Absolutely. How we are.
Yes. Yeah. If you have some visual interest, it's like when you open your homepage and you have these news stories and the lady's walking down the runway in the pretty red dress and you have to stop and look. Well, this is the same thing. We're looking for something to look at so that people will stop and look.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's a very nice I have a couple of my ancestors where I've more fleshed out the bios and I've added some photos.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, but I've neglected most of them.
I know, same here. It all takes time. So yeah. I was going to suggest that if you guys want to look at more that are built like this, that to give you some ideas on what to do with your own bios, is you can look at the examples page, and they're broken down by era or by century. And, we've got people on here like Anne Frank, Dr. Martin Luther King, Stephen Hawking. You can go and take a look at their profiles. I've got it here if you want me to put it up. But
if you already have it. I was just trying to find the quickest way to get there.
I know, I'm not good. You're better at showing your screen than I am.
Well, then I can so I was gonna.
And if you're looking for, examples of just good bios, it may not be quite as elaborate as that. I think if you check into the BioBuilders, the ones that people have done, there are different levels, but it gives you an idea of what a biography sort of needs and, examples. So yes, and a lot of these were done with the collaborative profile of the month.
Right. Yeah.
That one was not, but
I think he was in the connection finder or something a while.
Yeah. Usually the examples are like that. We're on the connection finder.
Yeah.
Can we look for more collaborative profiles of the week?
Yeah, that's the one you've got right there. Yeah. Let's see. It's kind of hard to read here while I'm trying to read.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just quickly scrolling to see if I can. Was there a category for it?
Yes, there is a category.
Okay, let me go ahead and collaborative profile of the week. There we go.
There we go.
So let's look at this one. Ethan Allen, the first one there.
Oh, look at that
Vermont project. Look, we
have.
these
are a lot of people working on it. So people will pull up pictures for you, and so other people will write the biographies, and other people will just put on sources. It was kind of a fun thing to do, for a while, but after you've done it for 2 years, it was time to retire that one. But
You've kind of pointed out a couple of things about WikiTree, though, Anne, that are very appealing to people. It's like, I've watched over here in the comments where a couple people have said, well, I'm not very good at this, or I'm not very good at that. And so you get to work in an area where your skills apply. Maybe you're really good at researching and you can pull together some hard to find sources or
well, I'll tell you now, I've gotten a lot better at writing biographies than when I first started. I kind of look at some of the ones that I first wrote and I go, oh my goodness.
I think we all do that.
You have to dive in and just do it. Write out your first sentence, slap an inline citation at the end of it.
Practice.
Go on to your second sentence. And the other thing I wanted to mention was there are a lot of people that are, that can't spell and are unsure about their grammar. And I think that you can find somebody on WikiTree who will help you with that, who will read through your biographies and do spell checks and things.
Sure.
Yeah, because like Bobby Hall and I, when we work on Mayflower profiles, we read each other's biographies to double check that we're not missing something, that we're spelling, not making typos and sort of things like that. So I think if you just went into G2G and said editor needed,
well, I bet you'll find a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
A great part of our community. Everybody's so helpful.
Yes.
So Chris mentioned the biography creator app. Do you ever use that to kind of start your bios?
I did it a couple of times, but I kind of lose things like that. They get lost. The links get lost. So so yes, I have used it, and yes, it certainly does work. Makes it
if
nice.
you're just looking for something just to get you started, and it adds the inline citation, adds little spots for you to put the sources for each fact as well.
Yeah, so it would be maybe a good tutorial on how to do it.
And then let's see if I saw anything else. Yeah, so apparently Joe Kirby, they're thinking of getting a laptop because she's currently using a phone to use WikiTree. And yes, WikiTree is difficult to use on a phone.
It is. And you're not the only one that does that, though. There's a lot of people that work on their phone or their tablet.
Well, I know a couple people who've done source-a-thons from their phone.
Oh,
or iPad.
I couldn't. I don't have the patience.
I have a hard time just reading my email on my phone.
I know.
I can read it, but I can't respond to it.
Yes. So yeah, and then does anybody have any other questions about bios or Anby? Do you have any kind of anything else you want to talk about?
I'm not coming up with any other thoughts at the moment.
So we have stickers you can use on the bios, which we've talked about. There's categories, which are very important.
Yes. Yes, the categories are on our list.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Yes.
And then also on the list, I guess I'll bring it up one more time to see if I missed anything. So we have the explanatory remarks, so like the research notes section or any kind of those whatever the boxes, like if it's on source or if the date is uncertain.
You're not sure about the connection of the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
of course we shouldn't have any of those unsourced boxes on our biographies.
Let's hope not.
No, but I guess I just meant in general any kind of research note box.
Right.
But if it is truly unsourced, you want to work
might be your source. She's still a source, even if she's not correct.
Yeah. And obviously sources are very important for a biography. And then also link to other places, not just WikiTree, but link to other sites. Like Wikipedia, or if there was an article somewhere, or
I link to Wikipedia quite a bit, and I will link to other websites also. Yes, because it's so easy to do, and you know, if you want to expound about some little battle in the revolution, you know, I don't want to put that in my biography. That's going to just make it too lengthy. So, you know, yeah, a quick link to some website that tells about it is great.
Yeah, and I guess also that kind of ties into like tying in a historical context, which would kind of impact that person's life. So like, oh, they lived during this war, or this, you know, during the Great Depression or something.
Yes.
So there's like a background, like there's a background to what was going on while they were alive.
Of course, that helps if you know a little history.
Yes.
Well, but did you know, and you guys probably already know this, you can go into Wikipedia and type in a year, like 1880, and it will give you kind of a timeline of things that were going on.
That's really cool.
During that year.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do, I know you can break it down by decade, but let me try just like, I've got 1883 here, so it's kind of cool. It's got events of that year, births and deaths, and so you might be able to find something interesting and big that was going on during the lifetime of your
So yeah, so if there was anything big that happened,
yeah.
The blizzard of 1880 begins in North America in October.
Now, see, that could be really fascinating depending on where it happened. If it was,
let's look at it. So where did this happen?
I was going to say it was like
Minnesota, around Minnesota, Wisconsin.
So you might find
that would have impacted your ancestors' lives a lot,
right?
Knowing that.
Yeah, they didn't have weather forecasters back then. So if there was a blizzard coming, they kind of had to depend on their senses to know what, you know, but they never would know how bad it was going to be.
Yeah. And they didn't have, I don't think they had like heaters like we do now back then either. So some people probably would have frozen to death, unfortunately.
No, they probably had their wood burning stoves and
their fireplaces.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to be able to get the wood in because and they were tunneling to get to the barns.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember seeing somewhere where they would set up like a guide wire, like from the door of the house to the barn.
Yes.
So they could get out and follow.
I think that was in a movie once.
Maybe that's where I found it.
But I think it's been documented. So, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody used it in the movie.
Yeah. You're probably right. It's not from my historical memory of
all the history I know, I learned from genealogy.
Yep, me too.
Yes.
It makes it come alive. You can really relate to your ancestors better.
Yes. And if it didn't impact my ancestors, I don't have a clue.
Yeah. Building a bio for your ancestors makes them more real. You know?
Absolutely.
More, and like Mag said, it adds color to your profiles.
Yep.
And Benjamin says that he has a generic bio to remind him all the things he wants to include, and it sits in front of him at his desk.
Well,
that's pretty cool.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Excellent idea. Yes.
I just saved off the link to that G2G post, Anne, so that I've got your kind of a checklist there. It's like, did I include the military stuff, or did I, whatever.
Yeah. And there is other things you can add into a bio. And of course, you don't have to put all those things in a bio either, but
just suggestions.
Yes.
So I know some people do like timeline kind of.
And especially if you've got a lot of events and you want to mention them in a biography, if you try to make that all in nice, neat sentences, it's going to take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
So timelines have a definite place within a biography, I think.
I use them when I have to untangle a bunch of stuff. I'll start if I say I have two guys and I can't tell if they're the same guy.
Yes.
I'll start doing timelines, and if I see overlap, then sometimes
Yeah.
deduce whether or not they are really the same person.
So I didn't see any more questions come in about biographies, and I think we have talked about pretty much every aspect of a WikiTree biography.
Pretty cool.
We covered lots of stuff. Yes.
I know. It's
You're
been
a wealth
great.
of information, Anne.
I on this subject.
Yes. I'm so glad you were able to come on, because if it would just been Julie and I, we would have.
We'd be talking about pie right now.
Well, let's see. Actually, I have a biography that has recipes in it.
I guess if they were a baker, that would be a great thing to have in a biography.
Well, it was kind of, I was trying to put some color in, and I have one of this great grandmother's recipes, and so I put the recipe in. I thought,
that's a great idea. I love that.
Awesome.
I have some handwritten ones from my grandmother, my Swedish grandma.
Yeah,
I should scan those and put them in.
Yep, absolutely. Lends color to your great grandmother.
Yeah.
So
For Swedish baking.
Oh yes. Okay.
everybody's very thankful of our talk of, we gave them good suggestions for their biographies.
Oh, excellent.
We'll write one tonight while I'm watching.
And if you do ever have questions about building your bio or anything, you can go to G2G, like we were talking about. A lot of people are very helpful in answering questions or helping you edit it, or maybe you're not sure how to do your inline sources, so you can get help there. There's always new things to learn on WikiTree.
That's for sure, always.
Yes.
There's a lot of moving parts.
And I guess, unless there's something last minute that somebody wants to say or ask, we will head off for the night. I know I'm tired.
Yeah, I want to go write a bio now.
Yeah. All right.
I'm probably going to get cozy in my bed. That's what I'm going to do.
I might go make a pie.
I don't mind. That sounds like a good idea too.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have any complainers in my house if I did that.
Well, I guess we will see. So we have the Friday date night on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then we have our regular Saturday live cast at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So hopefully we'll see you at one of those. And have a wonderful rest of your night, day, afternoon from wherever you are.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. And good afternoon.